in the heart of the Egyptian desert, where golden sands meet the endless sky, stand the great pyramids of Giza, silent, eternal, immovable. They rise like mountains of stone, guardians of a time long past, witnesses to a civilization that dreamed of eternity. For over 4,000 years, they have stood against the wind, against the sun, against the march of time itself. They are not simply tombs, they are messages from the ancients, written in stone for all generations to see. The pyramids tell us of kings, of gods, of power and faith, and of a people whose vision reached beyond life into the afterlife. Even today, scholars debate their secrets. How were they built? Why with such precision? And what do they still hide within their chambers? The story of the pyramids is the story of Egypt itself, a story of ambition, of genius, of faith in the eternal. And so, our journey begins. Long before the pyramids rose, there was the river, the Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt, a ribbon of green flowing through endless desert. Each year it flooded. Each year it gave life, watering the fields, feeding the people, building the wealth of a kingdom. Farmers planted wheat and barley. Fishermen cast their nets. Boats carried goods up and down the river, and villages grew into towns into cities. But Egypt was more than a land of farmers. It was a land of order, of discipline, of belief. At its heart stood the Pharaoh, the king, the God on earth. To the people, the Pharaoh was not just a man. He was the link between humans and the divine. His word was law, his presence was sacred, his memory eternal. And it was for these pharaohs that the pyramids would rise. Every stone, every block, every line of labor was a gift to the king, a promise of immortality. Life in Egypt revolved around this dream, the dream of eternity, the dream of life beyond death. So when we speak of the pyramids, we do not speak only of stone, we speak of faith, we speak of an entire civilization, moving as one. To understand the pyramids, we must first understand the pharaohs. They were kings, but far more than kings to their people. They were gods, born of the sun god Ra, chosen to bring order to the world, carriers of divine authority. Every gesture, every word, every command was touched by the sacred. To obey the pharaoh was not just loyalty, it was worship. The pharaoh was protector of the two lands, Upper Egypt, Lower Egypt, bound together under one crown. He wore the double crown proudly, a symbol of unity, a symbol of power, a reminder that Egypt stood as one. But even gods on earth must face the truth of death. And for the pharaohs, death was not an end, it was a passage. They believed in an eternal journey, a voyage through darkness, a trial before the gods, and a rebirth in the afterlife. The pyramid was their vessel, a ladder of stone reaching to the heavens, a gateway to eternity. Inside, treasures were placed, gold, food, furniture, sacred objects, all that a king might need in the world beyond. Priests performed sacred rituals. Prayers filled the chambers. Spells were written to guide the soul. The pyramid was not just a tomb. It was a promise that the pharaoh would rise again and rule forever. And so the people built, not only for their king, but for themselves. Because if their pharaoh lived eternally, then Egypt itself would never fall. For centuries, the world believed the pyramids were built by slaves, broken under the sun, whipped into obedience. But the truth is different. The pyramids were not born of chains. They were born of pride. Tens of thousands of workers came. Farmers during the flood season, craftsmen skilled in stone, engineers, architects, and visionaries. They lived in villages near the pyramid site. Simple homes of mud brick, streets lined with bakeries and breweries, a city built for builders. Here bread was baked by the thousands, beer brewed by the river, fish caught from the Nile, an endless supply to feed the hands of Egypt. These were not slaves, they were laborers, citizens of Egypt fulfilling a sacred duty. To build for the king was to build for the gods. Stone by stone they labored, blocks weighing tons, pulled on sleds over sand, paths made slick with water. To ease the weight, the rhythm of hammers echoed, copper chisels striking limestone, the chant of voices carrying across the desert. Each block lifted, each wall raised. Every step of the pyramid brought them closer to the heavens. Some died here, their bodies discovered in graves near the site, buried with honor, because they were not just workers, they were guardians of eternity. Every hand that touched the stone left a mark on history. Every life given was remembered by the pyramid itself, and though their names are lost, their legacy rises in stone. The pyramids stand because of them, the nameless thousands, the builders of immortality. The pyramids do not only rise above the sands, they descend into darkness, into chambers, shafts, and tunnels carved for eternity. The Great Pyramid of Khufu, the largest of them all, was more than a tomb. It was a labyrinth. Inside, corridors stretched deep into the stone. Passages narrow, forcing the body to crawl. The air grows heavy. Every step feels like entering another world. First, the descending passage, a sloping tunnel leading into the earth, a reminder to find the afterlife. One must first descend into death, but then the passages rise again into the grand gallery, a hall of towering walls, smooth and precise, its ceiling high, its stones locked like puzzle pieces. Even today, no one knows how such perfection was achieved. At the heart of the pyramid lies the king's chamber, a room of red granite blocks, each weighing more than 50 tons, brought from quarries hundreds of miles away. Here, Khufu was to rest, surrounded not by gold or treasure, but by the silent weight of stone above the chamber-hidden rooms, relieving pressure. Ingenious engineering that kept the chamber from collapse. Proof of minds as sharp as the chisels they wielded. And yet, the pyramid keeps its secrets. Where is the treasure? Some believe it was stolen in antiquity. Others believe hidden chambers still sleep, waiting to be uncovered. In recent years, scans have revealed voids within the Great Pyramid, massive empty spaces, never entered by man. What lies within? A burial chamber untouched, scrolls of lost knowledge, or nothing but hollow stone? Mystery endures. The air shafts of the pyramid point to the stars, Orion, Sirius, the very constellations tied to the gods. Was this a tomb, or was it something more? A machine of stone, built to connect heaven and earth. Every chamber, every passage, was carved with purpose, not only to protect a king's body, but to preserve a soul. To step inside the pyramid is to step between worlds, the realm of the living and the realm of the eternal. And so the pyramid does not only stand as a monument, it breathes as a mystery, its secrets hidden in shadow, its truth whispered by stone. The pyramids are not only monuments of stone, they are monuments of fear, of curses whispered across the centuries, It is said that those who disturb the resting places of kings will suffer the wrath of eternity. The most famous tale comes from the tomb of Tutankhamun. When Howard Carter opened it in 1922, Lord Carnarvon, his patron, soon died. The newspapers called it the curse of the Pharaohs. Lights flickered, strange illnesses struck. One by one, those connected to the discovery met grim fates. Though Tutankhamun's tomb lies in the Valley of the Kings, not within a pyramid, the legend spread, and soon all pharaohs' tombs were said to be guarded by curses. The Great Pyramid itself holds such stories. Arab chroniclers in the Middle Ages wrote that inside its passages they found traps, poisons, even spirits. Warnings carved in stone. Death shall come on swift wings to those who enter here. Was it truth, or fear to keep away thieves? Even today, some explorers claim strange happenings. The feeling of being watched, sudden chills, equipment failing in the heart of the pyramid, as if the stones themselves resist intrusion. Science says otherwise. The air is thin, the corridors are narrow, the body feels uneasy in such a place. Yet the myth is stronger than fact, because the pyramid is more than a tomb. It is a symbol, a bridge between worlds, a house of eternity, and to disturb eternity is to risk the wrath of gods. Legends also whisper of lost knowledge hidden within, scrolls of wisdom from Atlantis, the secrets of the stars, maps of the heavens that predate mankind. Mystics believe the Great Pyramid holds energy, a cosmic power channeled through its angles, flowing from the earth into the sky. Some say it was a temple, others a machine, a beacon, even a doorway to other realms. And so the pyramid becomes not only a tomb, but a myth, a riddle carved in stone. Every explorer, every traveler who gazes upon it feels the weight of mystery, the fear of curses, the hope of secrets, the awe of eternity. For the pyramid does not only rise from the sands, it rises from the human soul, a monument to wonder and to dread. The pyramids were not built by magic. They were not raised by giants. They were built by hands, by sweat, by the will of thousands. For centuries, people believed slaves dragged the stones, beaten under the sun, their blood soaking into the desert sands. But modern discoveries tell another story. The builders were not slaves. They were workers, craftsmen, farmers who labored when the Nile flooded their fields, their hands freed from crops to serve the pharaoh. Archaeologists found their village, rows of mud brick houses near the pyramids, bakeries, breweries, even hospitals. The workers ate bread and drank beer. They were given meat, fish, onions, and dates, not the scraps of slaves, but the rations of men honored for their work. Each man had a duty. Stone cutters shaped the blocks at quarries. Boatmen carried them across the Nile. Teams dragged them on sleds, their feet pounding the sand in rhythm. Water poured on the sand to ease the way. 1,000 voices shouting as one. Pull, pull. Others smoothed the stone, measured the angles, checked the alignment with the stars. The pyramid rose not in chaos, but in harmony, each man a part of something greater. Even their tombs were found, buried near the pyramids they built, not cast aside as slaves, but honored as men who served eternity. And yet, the work was brutal. Backs broke, hands blistered, stones crushed. The desert claimed many lives, but still they built, because to build was to serve the gods, to carve your mark on the eternal, to know that long after your flesh was dust, the pyramid would stand, and within its shadow, so would your memory. We often speak only of pharaohs and kings, but the true soul of the pyramid lies in the sweat of its people, the nameless thousands who turned dreams into stone, and in their silence, the pyramid speaks for them. For without them, there would be no wonder, no monument, no story to tell. They were not forgotten. They live on in every stone that rises, every angle that meets the sky, every shadow the pyramid casts on the sand. And so, as much as it belongs to the kings, the pyramid belongs also to them, the builders, the dreamers, the people who gave eternity its shape. The pyramid was finished, the king was gone, the sands shifted. But the pyramid endured for centuries. It stood as the tallest structure on earth, stone against sky, a mountain shaped by man. The desert winds howled around it. The Nile rose and fell. New kingdoms were born, and old ones crumbled. Yet the pyramid remained, its shadow stretching across time. Invaders came, Persians, Romans, Arabs. Each gazed at its vastness with awe. Some chipped away its stone, some stripped its casing of gleaming white limestone, leaving the rough steps we see today. But none could erase it. Earthquakes struck, the ground trembled, cities fell. But the pyramid held, its stones locked together with precision so perfect that even nature itself could not break them apart. For travelers, it was a beacon. Greek scholars came and wrote of its wonders. The historian Herodotus called it a marvel beyond words. For them, it was already ancient, already a relic of a forgotten world. In the Middle Ages, pilgrims journeyed across deserts just to see the mountain of stone. They called it one of the wonders of the world. And indeed, it is the last of the 7 wonders still standing. But the pyramid was more than a wonder. It was a teacher. It showed mankind what was possible. It whispered that even in death there could be greatness, that even when empires fell, stone could carry memory forward. Centuries passed, kings faded, the language of the builders was lost. But the pyramid spoke still. It told of power, of ambition, of the eternal hunger to be remembered. And even today, as planes fly overhead and satellites circle above, the pyramid stands, silent, unmoved, eternal. Tourists walk its base, their cameras flashing, their voices echoing in awe. Yet the pyramid does not speak to the crowds. It speaks to time. It says, "I was here before you. I will be here after you, and in my shadow, you too will become dust." Still, it inspires. Architects study its angles. Historians study its mysteries. Dreamers see in it the proof that mankind can defy the impossible. The Great Pyramid is not just a tomb. It is a message carved in stone, a message that has survived fire, war, and sand. A message that still reaches across 4,500 years. It says we are small, but together we can create eternity. And so as the sun sets on the desert, its last rays painting the pyramid in gold, we are reminded of a truth as old as time itself. Empires rise, empires fall, but some dreams never die. Enjoying the story? Don't forget to hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe so you won't miss the next episode.